Hi, I'm Daniel Hylton, and let's paint. Now, I think I told you, I'm pretty sure I told you folks that I'm married to a very beautiful woman. Not bragging, I just am. And thing is, she's beautiful in every way possible. She's not just lovely to look at, which of course she is, but she's intelligent, she's strong, she's kind, she's genteel, she's decent. She's just a wonderful human being. She's beautiful in every way that it's possible to be beautiful. And anybody that knows her will tell you the same thing. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, if she's all that, how'd she end up with you? You're not the first to wonder. And a lot of people have conjectured about it, trying to figure that out. And nobody really has. And some people offer the opinion that it's an eyesight thing. Maybe she can't see very well. There are people who think that. There's some people who just think it's a psychological thing. She has, shockingly low standards or something. Who knows? Maybe it's a pity thing. Maybe she felt sorry for me. That's what's kept her here all these many, many years. I don't know. I'm just glad she is. But I'll tell you something, when I met her, let me blend this in and see if I like this. When I met her, I fell for her. If you've heard about love at first sight, well, that was me. I fell for her immediately. This blender brush is shedding today. I fell for her immediately. And she didn't fall for me immediately, but anyway. But she was, to look at her, she was the quintessential uptown girl, Heels, jewelry, skirts, and I was an outside guy. I didn't know how good that's going to work. So when I realized we were getting serious, now I'm in some mountains, but they're just going to be way in the background here. I kind of want a long view, a meadow that's going to end around here, I think, and foothills. So I want these mountains to be way off in the background. I want them to be, genuine mountains, but let's see. Let's have some really steep mountains back there. But I don't really want these to be the focal point of this painting, although it's kind of, when you got mountains, it's kind of hard for them not to be, I guess. Anyway, and off in there. When I met her, like I said, I didn't know if she was going to be the kind of girl that enjoyed doing things like I did. I loved hiking and camping and going up in the mountains just to be in the mountains. I was born and raised in a state where there are lots of mountains, and I have always loved the mountains. As I've told you before, there's an eerie solitude up there and a sense of the nearness of God. Now, I don't want this to be any closer than that. All right, let's get these mountains done. I think my son's going to be over there today, so. Well, anyway, I started to move our dates away from going to the city and seeing a movie to, maybe doing something kind of outdoors. And she agreed. She didn't have the clothes for it. I think I told you when I took her out to hike up the little butte above the town where we lived. She hiked all the way up and back in a crisp white shirt, black pants, and high heel boots. But she did it. She went all the way up, all the way back. Okay. But she eventually got, since she realized that I really did want to do a lot of outdoorsy things, she eventually got, some more sensible shoes. And we went on picnics, and I introduced her to one of the favorite things that she loved right away was high mountain wildflowers. She loved the high mountains and the wildflowers. And I took her up. We met in the spring, so I introduced her to a lot of places where the wildflowers grow in abundance. And she loved it. In fact, her wedding bouquet, I found this out later. She asked the florist to find as many wildflower type flowers as he could for her wedding bouquet. So she apparently loved things as much as I did. You want any snow on these? It turned out to be way more mountains than I thought I'd have. Should we have some snow on them? Maybe it's spring, there should be some snow down in there, maybe. I don't know. I say my son's over here, okay. Maybe there's some snow down in these little pockets. Maybe not much. And yeah, maybe not much. Let's see, let me have a little shadow. Gonna have to have a shadow color. Didn't really think I was gonna do this. Let's see. Now, I do not know what I think of that. Well, we're gonna live with it. Like I said, I didn't really want this painting to be about the mountains anyway. Well, anyway, she eventually, got used to going on picnics and stuff. Seemed to kind of enjoy it. I enjoyed her company, that's for sure. But as it found out, she's actually quite an adventurous girl. And I can tell you a little story that demonstrates that in spades. When I met her, she had a 10-speed bike. I mean, she had a car too, but she loved riding her 10-speed. Well, we lived in a valley called Emmett Valley. We were both born there. Let me get a little bit of that green in there too, just to... Oh, wait a minute, I want this side dark. What am I doing? Sun's on over that side today, so I want these here to be kind of dark. And I don't really... I'm going to have some foothills in the front here. Well, I'm going to have foothills back here. And I don't really like that little mountain, so I'm going to cover most of that up. Push it up so that looks like lots of trees. Well, she had a 10-speed bike that she rode a lot. In fact, I worked for an orchard at the time, and she would often ride her bike out and come and visit me. And after we became engaged, she got to feeling, I don't know, excited, I guess, about our coming marriage, I suppose. And now, like I said, we lived in a valley, and the way you access that valley is the highway comes over, and in the old days it came over. We lived down the valley. There's all these sand hills around it. And the road used to come and wind all the way down those sand hills, round the corners into the ravines, round the corners, wind over there, wind back, wind down. It was 10 miles just to get down into the valley. Well, eventually, of course, modern technology, they come over the hill and just put one long 3.5 mile sloping road, 6% grade. Truckers hated it. They come down, curve slightly to the right, and then curve back fairly sharply to the left and leveled out in the valley. Well, my fiancée, as she was then, decided that she wanted to go to the top of that hill and ride her 10-speed down it. Now, what she thought she would do, oh man, I got way more mountains than I wanted. What she thought she would do is she thought she would, she rode up Old Freezeout. She cycled all the way up. Probably took her an hour or two, all the way top up the new Freezeout, where the new road angled down. And she decided what she would do is she'd kind of ease the handbrakes and just come all the way down the valley. Well, she let go and started coasting. Before she knew it, she was going way too fast. Way too fast to use handbrakes. Handbrakes would have, okay, now, like I told you, I kind of want a long view with a meadow here, so I'm gonna, let's see. I'm gonna put, I think that something like this. Yeah. Oh man, within just a few minutes, 6% grade, she was going 30, 40, 50 miles an hour. By the time she got down very far, she must have been doing easily 60 miles an hour on her 10-speed bike. And of course, she couldn't keep her foot on the pedals, didn't dare use the handbrakes. Wide-eyed, terrified, I mean, she was zipping down that hill. And she was terrified that she wouldn't make that curve that goes back to the corner. Now, it's not completely steep, and the road is banked, but it's fairly steep. I mean, it's not completely sharp, but it's fairly sharp. She was absolutely terrified of reaching that corner. And I think she was praying, all the way down. If she'd called her fiance, I'd have told her, no way are you going to do that. But she didn't. She didn't talk to me. She just decided to go do it. So anyway, that's my girl. She came around that corner. Just on the other side of the corner is an orchard and a huge wide canal. Guardrail. She just barely kept from going to that guardrail. Finally got into the valley, leveled out, came to a stop, and caught her breath. And oh my, I see a problem. She was so glad to still be alive. Oh my goodness. But that's the kind of girl she was. She's adventurous. And our life has been an adventure, that's for sure. Now I want some trees way back over here, but not very many. I'm going to put some black in there. Make them show up. I don't want a whole lot of trees back over here. Just a little stand of trees back over here. Kind of out in this meadow. But I want this to be, like I said, I want this to be a long view. Because I'm going to put some wildflowers in here in honor of my beloved wife. So, I've got to have, okay, I'll tell you what, I've got to have a meadow back there. I don't want it to be that rough, but I got to have a meadow way back there. Because I want to have a close view here. About right here. So, all right, I want a path in there. So let's put a path in there. Let's see. Let's have a path that goes out of sight. Let's see. Maybe it. Goes out of sight back there, maybe. Got to make that look like it's got a few rocks and things in it. So let's put some. Let's see. Now let's do it this way. Let's have some rocks in it. Yeah, when she told me that story, I was absolutely, oh boy. I could, like I told her, don't you ever do something like that again. I was so absolutely terrified. I could have lost my bride before we even made it to the wedding. But anyway, God took care of her. Helped her get to the bottom. I want that to be kind of broken up a little. Don't want that to be. I'm not getting this path to look exactly like I wanted. Well, it kind of looks like a path, and I got to get on the rest of this. Okay, now, what I want here, I want some brush back here, like maybe there's some brush bay back here. It's a different color, and some that's like this color. Let's see. Let's get some brown in it, and want a couple of trees over there. I better get those done real quick. Put a little black in here. I want a pretty good sized tree over here. She's followed me all over woods and mountains. Now, she still likes mostly to wear her heels and, dresses. And she's still pretty much that uptown girl. But like I said, I guess she loves me, or either that or she takes pity on me. I don't know. Whatever it is, I'm just glad she's here. Kind of get out of your way here. You see this painting take shape. I want the bottom of these. I'm gonna have some trunks in there. And I'm going to use this little knife to make some of those dead limbs that always hang down at the bottom. You probably can't see those, but anyway. Now then, I need some dark brush back into these trees. Now, maybe some two-tone brush. Maybe some of this. All right, now, let's see if this works. What I want, way back there, I want a whole bunch of flowers. This field is going to be covered up with these. I don't know if it's fireweed, local weed, shooting star. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And I want a whole field covered with it. Okay. So that path goes around behind it, maybe. All right, now I gotta have some green in here. And I want them kind of thin out as they come up here. And I'll have some other things up here. Going down over that path, okay. Okay, now what I'm gonna have to do is kind of disperse them out a little bit. Give them some individuality here and there. Not enough green, is there? Here, let's get some dark green down in here. Kind of like that, maybe. And get these individual flowers. Like I said, I don't know if this is fireweed, local weed, shooting star. It's one of those that grows up there. Now let's get some lighter paint on there. Brighten them up a little bit. Try to get some stems in there. Make it look like there's stems in there in places. And here up front, let's have some, maybe some shrubs that have some white on them. And over on this side, have the brush come in for that path. Variegate it a little bit. And now on this right here, I'm going to want some different flowers. I want them to be blue. Let's use this right here. Clean that off. And let's get some blue going here. And get some lighter blue on them to kind of make them stand out. Let's see. I need a little bit of even darker blue to kind of give that a little more contrast. Oh, that's a lot of paint. Well, that's going to be a lot of paint there. Now, I want a whole bunch of like whitish like flowers here. All over here. Kind of set those back there off if I can a little bit. And I'm going to put a little bit of yellow in them just to all right. Now to give this whole thing some texture, we're going to need a few little trees in here. Need one right there. Well, it's got a double top, it looks like. Have him growing up out of that brush. Maybe another little one right beside him, just a little one. Just a little guy. And like I said, I want some kind of brush over here that looks a little different. I need to set that apart somehow. I think I'm just going to put some brown in there in places. And believe it or not, I think that also needs some white on it. Just here and there. Well, I hope that looks like a whole field of those flowers. Because I got to be done here. One more tree right here. Okay, sign it, be done. Over here, I guess. And this is 19. Thank you for watching, folks. Hope to see you next time. Until then, God bless and you take care.